Welcome to my channel. This is Yolanda here. Thank you for joining me today. And this video is going to be an author tag. So as some of you may or may not know, my book, Mindful Simplicity, Practical Strategies for Finding Harmony in Your Home, Work, and Life, is being published on May, thinking about my birthday, is being published on December 3rd, December 3rd, 2019. The paperback is being published on December 3rd. The Kindle will actually be available on November 19th. So I will leave links to the description box. But yes, this is my first full-length book, I guess. I did write an ebook, which is available on my website, called Live Simply and Be Free. It's sort of similar to this, but there's more exercises. It's more like a workbook. So there's more exercises in it. And obviously it's shorter. It's only like 45 pages. But it's a good place to start. And it's on sale for $6.99. But anyway, this is my first book. So to sort of introduce myself as an author and help promote my book, I'm going to be doing the author tag today. Okay, so I have notes. So if you see me looking down, that's what I'm doing. So I found this author tag on YouTube because I was looking for like ways to like promote a book or talk about a book, because I've never done this before. So I went searching to see if there was some type of book tag or author tag. Maybe there is a book tag. I need to search for a book tag. But yeah, like I said, I thought it would be a great way to introduce myself as a writer and to introduce my new book. And so let's get started. Let's not waste any more time. All right, so number one, the first question is, where's your favorite place to write? So for me, the only place that I can write is at my desk. That's in my room. It's where I do all my work. So it's where I teach my students. I work with adults who are English language learners. So that's where I tutor my students. That's where I wrote this book. It's where I write blog posts. It's where I create my art. I do everything in that room, but more specifically at the desk. Number two, coffee or tea? Definitely tea. Green tea is my favorite. I drink it often. I used to drink green tea every single day. But over the past year, I've been drinking coffee. I try to alternate. So usually I end up drinking coffee 2 to 3 times per week. But tea is always my first choice, my first love. I have lots of teas. And I like drinking tea just because I've done it so much over the years. It's like a habit or a ritual for me. When I sit down with a cup of tea, I'm able to focus. I'm able to let go of anything that was happening before. It gets my mind in the right space. So a cup of tea is, having a cup of tea is a ritual for me. If I'm feeling especially tired, if I need a pick-me-up, I need a sugar boost, a caffeine boost, then I'm definitely going to drink a cup of coffee. Favorite book of all time? This is hard because I've read a lot of books and I have a lot of authors that I like. The book that I have read the most times would be The Temple of My Familiar by Alice Walker. The Temple of My Familiar was like my book for a while. Years. So The Temple of My Familiar is like mythology, folklore, history. It's a story. But it's all those things for Black people. I would say BIPOC, Black, Indigenous, POC people are the main characters in the story. But it's basically talking about our history. And this history spans continents. But it primarily deals with, obviously, the African continent, the Americas, and the Americas. So North America, South America, Central America, and the Caribbean. I used to refer to it as like a Bible because it's a origin story. It's a mythological story. And the way Alice Walker just weaves the different characters' narratives together in the greater context of historically what is happening in the book, it's just beautiful and masterful. The first time I read this book was, I want to say 2006 maybe. I loved that book so much that I ended up decorating my room like Carlotta's room in the book. So in the book, she says that she wanted her room to feel like a womb, a woman's womb. And that's what she wanted to feel like when she was inside of her room. So in the book, her room is like different shades of pinks, I think. But for my room, I made it different shades of red and purple. Number 4, NaNoWriMo, yes or no? So NaNoWriMo, for those of you who may not know, is National Novel Writing Month, which happens in the month of November. It's happening currently. I've never done it before, but I do have the experience of writing every day for 30 days while it's writing Mindful Simplicity. I mean, I wrote for more than 30 days. I wrote every day for more than 30 days. It was almost like 5 weeks. But maybe one day I'll do NaNoWriMo. I do want to write a novel one day, or like memoir or something. So maybe one day I'll do it, but so far I have not done it. Number 5, genre you would write if you had no restrictions. So like I said, I do want to write a novel one day. I would like to write like a Black literary fiction novel. I really don't have any restrictions. I mean, you can write whatever you want. I don't understand what the question means by restrictions. There's no restrictions for me, theoretically or practically. I want to write, I have the time to do so, and I can write about anything that I want. But yeah, I definitely want to write like a Black literary fiction novel. I'm interested in creative nonfiction, more along the lines of like a memoir. And in the past, I've written some erotic short stories. So all of those things, all of those genres are still on the table for me in the future. I actually started a novel back in 2008 that I never finished. I wrote like 10 or 20 pages and I never finished it. And I don't know if I lost it because it was on my old HP computer that died, and I don't know if I saved it on a flash drive, and if I did save it on a flash drive, I have no idea where that flash drive is, so I may, unless it's in my Google Drive, I don't know, I need to check. But yeah, I started a novel way back when, and I never finished it, but that was going to be like my Black literary fiction novel. Number 6, if you could have any superpower, what would it be? I don't know how this relates to writing, but teleportation is always my answer because I want to be able to travel anywhere at any time without having to get in a car, on a plane, train, whatever. Teleportation so I can see the whole world at my own leisure. Number 7, favorite author. Okay, so this is another one that's pretty difficult. The only author, well, yeah, the one author whose novels, so this person has written other types of writing, but the only author who I have read every single one of their novels is Toni Morrison. I haven't read all of her nonfiction, her anthologies, the things she's edited. I did read the last book, The Personal Essays, The Source of Self-Regard. I read some of it, but I couldn't. Her nonfiction stuff is a little bit difficult for me. It's a little bit dense. But yeah, I've read every single one of Toni Morrison's novels. So she's going to win the title for favorite author. Number 2, second place for author who I've read almost all of their works would be Paulo Coelho. And then number 3 would be Alice Walker. So I love Toni Morrison. I read her first book, The Bluest Eye, when I was in high school. I think I was a junior or senior. It's the first time I discovered her work, and I've been riding with her ever since. I just watched her documentary that came out this summer. It's now on Hulu, so I watched that recently, and I was just amazed even more by her creativity, her strength, her unapologetically blackness. Right, number 8, what kind of music do you listen to when you write? I don't generally listen to music because it's distracting, but when I edit, sometimes I do put music on. And when I was editing Mindful Simplicity, I would listen to Solange and Ari Lennox. I like, soothing soul R&B music to help me get through things. If you could live anywhere, where would it be? For me, it's not so much about a location. It's about the feeling of the place, the environment. So I can live anywhere in theory, as long as my environment feels comfortable and I feel safe. Of course, I love warm locations more than cold ones. But my goal is to own a small farm one day on the Eastern Shore of Maryland, where I'm from. Last question, what do you do when you get writer's block? When I was writing Mindful Simplicity, I experienced writer's block one time, writing chapter number 2. And because I was on a tight deadline, I just had to write through it. I really couldn't procrastinate. And because I had to write through it, it was probably the worst chapter. And I actually had to end up rewriting chapter 2. But that's about it. I mean, you just write through it and understand that what you're writing may or may not be making sense, or may or may not be flowing correctly. But you just have to do it. Get the words down on the paper, and then you can go back and edit it or rewrite it later. If I wasn't on a deadline and I had time, when I can't do any work, so not just a writer's block, but just a working block, I usually procrastinate, allow myself to procrastinate. You know, I go do something else until I feel like I have more clarity about what I'm trying to do or what I'm trying to say, or when the spirit hits me, you know, with an idea. So if I have a deadline, then I'm just going to write through it. If I don't have a deadline, then I'm just going to allow myself to procrastinate until the block clears up. All right, that's it. Thank you for watching. I hope you learned more about me as a writer. Like I said, my new book, Mindful Simplicity, is available now. Check the description box. And, you know, happy writing to all of the writers and authors out there. Peace.